We did a study recently and found that 49% of UTech students have an idea that can be commercialized. And so the TIC is the landing page where students could come with their ideas to get commercialized.
If you're a UTech Jamaica student or anyone with a dream of becoming your own boss, we want to tell you how you can achieve this. Stay with us for this two-part step-by-step guide on how to take your innovative ideas from draft to commercialization. We begin in this simulated tutorial session on entrepreneurship at UTech Jamaica's Technology Innovation Center, TIC. The TIC is located in the Joan Duncan School of Entrepreneurship, Ethics and Leadership, one of the 3 schools in UTech Jamaica's College of Business and Management.
Welcome back to another entrepreneurship class. We have some exciting things ahead of us today because, of course, you guys have been talking about your own ideas and wanting to be an entrepreneur. That is why you're here.
The TIC began operating in 2002 as a technology business-based incubator. Today, the TIC offers pre-incubator, incubator, and post-incubation services.
Under the pre, those are the persons who just have an idea. They haven't started a business yet. They just have an idea of what they can do to start a business, and those persons can come in. The incubator would be those persons who already have a business, might have started, but that business would have had to be 3 years or younger. Those persons under the incubation would come in, they would do an interview. All persons have to apply. So they would come in, they would do an interview with a panel, and then a panel will make the selection as to whether or not that company fits into what we do here at the TIC.
Getting your business to the point of incubation involves a number of steps. But even before you embark upon any of these steps, it is important to know whether business is for you. You need to determine whether you have the mindset. So, let's listen into our simulated tutorial and learn a bit about the entrepreneurial mindset.
First, let us have a little discussion to see where your thought process is. So I think for me, one of the first questions, of course, is what do you believe are some important characteristics of an aspiring entrepreneur as yourself?
A good entrepreneur, the characteristics could be summed up in the acronym CRISP V.
CRISP V. C for creativity, thinking outside the box. R is for risk-taking, calculated risk-taking. I for initiative, being ready to take the steps to start your business. S is for self-belief, believing that you can do it even when others don't. P is for perseverance, you stick with the plan. And finally, V, you offer an innovative value-added product or service. Once you determine you have the entrepreneurial mindset, you are ready to start. We check back in with our simulated tutorial session to learn about the first step in moving from innovative ideas to commercialization. This is ideation.
So as it relates to ideation, and I know that some of you are already thinking about it in terms of how do I now come up with my own ideas? What do I do? I just don't know where to start. I know I want to get into entrepreneurship, but I don't know where to start. What do you believe are some ways in which you can come up with your own ideas?
Gio, one of the members of our simulated tutorial session, has been working with a business idea. He explains his ideation process.
I like writing, and I needed to have a whiteboard in my room to just to study and to write stuff down. And at the time, based on the size I wanted, it was just pretty expensive, and I wasn't going to need it for a certain amount of time. So I decided to just make my own.
Fantastic. I like that. So what we're seeing here is that there was a problem, and from that problem came an idea in terms of developing a product or a service to solve that problem. And that is one way in which we can come up with our own business ideas.
A good business idea must solve a problem, such as making a process more efficient. it must also be ready to be accepted by a particular market. But going back to our CRISP-V acronym, it must be creative.
Therefore, what we're also seeing here is that as it relates to the entrepreneurial mindset, we have to think differently from the average 9-to-5 person. And I'm speaking in regard to problems. So we don't see problems as a problem. Instead, we see it as an opportunity to come up with innovative and creative ideas.
So you have the entrepreneurial mindset. You came up with a good idea. What is step 2?
You have to do your research.
So when you're researching, what are you trying to find? You're trying to get feedback. You're trying to find data.
Your business development research can be formal or informal. For example, you could do a Google search. But you could be more formal and do a survey.
When you're doing your research, the next step when it comes down to really the entrepreneurial mindset and doing your business modeling is what we call validation.
It's a great and proud moment when others indicate that they like your idea and are willing to pay for it. There are many ways to do your business model, but two of the more popular ones are the business model canvas and the lean canvas. In these, you showcase your unique proposition. What is different about your company? Who your customers and partners are, your key activities, and your costs. And if the feedback you get doesn't support your assumptions?
If the data is not in support of the assumptions that I have made, what is the next step? What am I going to do now? Do I still proceed with it and waste this investment? Or do I just forget about it totally?
But then we need to be making changes. In other words, we need to pivot, we need to move around and see what we can do.
Pivoting is step 4 in our innovation to commercialization process. And with that, we come to the end of part 1 of our 2-part feature on commercializing your innovative ideas. Before we go, a recap of what we've covered. Before you start any business venture, make sure you're going in with an entrepreneurial mindset. Your business development process will involve the following steps: ideation, research, validation, and pivoting. In part 2, we will look at the next steps in the process, including business development and intellectual property issues. Take care.